6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. A meeting takes place between the President and the Indian Foreign Minister. The US extends support for Sri Lanka's renewable energy projects. The Foreign Secretary says new opportunities should be looked into for economic development of BIMSTEC countries. Haritha Dayak Home Garden Drive will commence island-wide tomorrow. The public is requested to get the booster dose soon. Levy on dates imports reduced. Foreign news, Russia and Ukraine are to hold face-to-face talks soon. Sports cricket, Joe Root wants to stay as England captain despite West Indies' defeat. News in detail. Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is on a 3-day official visit to the country, has met President Gotabaya Rajapaksa this morning. The Indian Foreign Minister arrived in the island to attend the BIMSTEC summit, which commenced in Colombo. The President thanked him for making available a credit line of $1 billion to import food, medicine and other essential items. U.S. Ambassador Julie Chung says that credit facilities will be given to renewable energy projects in Sri Lanka. The credit facilities are scheduled to be given through the United States International Agency for Development. A meeting between President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Ambassador Julie Chung took place this morning at the Presidential Secretariat. She appreciated the support given by the government for the U.S. Under-Secretary for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland's visit. The President explained the reasons for the recent economic crisis and said that the U.S. support is expected for consultations with the IMF. The ambassador praised the decision of the government to consult the IMF and pointed out it would be important for the country in the long term. The President said steps will be taken to provide relief to low-income recipients despite any economic reforms. Foreign Secretary Admiral Professor Jayannath Columbage has proposed to look into new opportunities for economic growth in the BIMSTEC countries. He mentioned this during the senior officials meeting of the BIMSTEC countries, which commenced in Colombo today. It has been forecast that Asia will register more than 50% of global domestic product and 40% of global consumption by 2040. Expressing views, the Foreign Secretary said that economic and strategic importance has sledged the Bay of Bengal to become the hub of international politics. The world's busiest shipping line is located in the Indian Ocean, south to Sri Lanka. 50% of container transport and 75% of fossil fuel are taken through this shipping line. He said that common cultural ethics, nurtured by all regions in the world, has led to the expansion of BIMSTEC. Haritha Dayak Home Garden Drive will commence island-wide tomorrow. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa said that this national program is implemented, targeting 2.2 million families. The aim of this program is to provide food without toxins to the people. During a media briefing in Colombo today, the minister said that it will help to improve nutrition levels of the people and to make them healthy. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Minister of Finance announced today that the special import levy on dates has been reduced to ₹1 with effect from today. Issuing a statement, the ministry said that the existing special import levy of ₹200 per kilogram of dates has been reduced by ₹199 to ₹1. It said the decision has been taken as a relief measure for Muslims during the Ramadan fasting period. U.S. Under-Secretary of Political Affairs Victoria Nuland visited Sri Lanka from the 22nd to the 23rd of this month. During the visit, Under-Secretary Nuland held discussions with Minister of Foreign Affairs G.L. Peiris and Secretary of Foreign Affairs Professor Jayannath Columbage. Minister Peiris stated that it was important to enhance economic cooperation as Sri Lanka recovers from the pandemic and encouraged increased U.S. investments to Sri Lanka. He also outlined the progress in reconciliation and human rights, including the PTA reforms passed by Parliament on 22nd of this month. Under-Secretary Nuland said that the United States is eager to support Sri Lanka. Both delegations reiterated their intent to explore new opportunities to enhance market access, bilateral trade, investment and tourism. They are also committed to working together to address climate change and resolve to continue cooperation in maritime security. The United States welcomed action taken by Sri Lanka to promote reconciliation and human rights in pursuit of development and prosperity. Both delegations welcomed ongoing bilateral defense and security sector cooperation and the United States' resolve to explore opportunities to further expand counter-terrorism cooperation with Sri Lanka. Secretary to the Ministry of Lands, R.A. Ranawaka, says that they hope to provide 20,000 land plots this year under the special program to provide lands to young entrepreneurs. He said that there were 430,000 applications last year and 130,000 out of that have been selected. He further said that 4,000 land plots have been already given to the young entrepreneurs. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The head of the epidemiology unit, consultant Dr. Samita Ginige, has requested the people who have not taken the third booster dose to get the vaccine before the forthcoming New Year. He said that more than 7.8 million have taken 3 doses of the vaccine. More than 14 million have taken 2 doses of the vaccine. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health prepares to give the first and second doses of the Pfizer vaccine. It was earlier given as a booster dose, except for children. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
In Mochli, the first international conference on management and entrepreneurship organized by the Faculty of Management Studies, Open University of Sri Lanka, will be held on the 31st of March and 1st of April 2020 online. Open University of Sri Lanka has a long history of management education and commenced teaching management as early as 1980. Those who are interested to join can contact the conference chair on 077 302 8690. That's 077 302 8690. And that was Watchlight.
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, Friendly Leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
The headlines: Russia and Ukraine are to hold face-to-face talks soon. North Korea says it will continue to develop powerful weapons. Oil prices fall after Shanghai starts lockdown. World news in detail. Negotiators from Russia and Ukraine will likely meet in person in Turkey to discuss a ceasefire. Turkey's presidential office announced yesterday that the next round of ceasefire talks between Russia and Ukraine will be held in Istanbul. The Ukrainian delegation says the meeting will be held from today through Wednesday, while the Russian side says the talks will take place on Tuesday and Wednesday. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un says his country will continue to develop powerful weapons. North Korea's ruling Workers' Party newspaper, Rodong Sinmun, reported this today, 4 days after the country test-fired what is called a new type of intercontinental ballistic missile, the Hwasong-17. The paper says Kim made the remark during a photo session with scientists and other people who contributed to Thursday's launch. Global oil prices have fallen as China starts to implement a city-wide lockdown in Shanghai, an important financial and manufacturing hub. Brent crude lost more than $4.50 a barrel on concerns that the move would mean that the demand for oil will fall. The Shanghai Composite Stock Index fell in early trade before regaining most of the losses later in the day. The lockdown, which began on Monday, is China's largest since the coronavirus outbreak began more than 2 years ago. Back to the headlines of the world news. Russia and Ukraine are to hold face-to-face talks soon. North Korea says it will continue to develop powerful weapons. Oil prices fall after Shanghai starts lockdown. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
The Colombo International Airport Ratmalana resumed international flights after 54 years, with Maldivian Airlines commencing direct flights to Mali. Ratmalana Airport also opened up for night traffic, allowing flights to land even after dark. Ground operations at Ratmalana Airport will be handled by the Airport and Aviation Company. Previously, it was the Sri Lankan Airlines Company, and that was development news.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Cricket news, Joe Root has reiterated his desire to remain England captain after his side's serious defeat by the West Indies. England slumped to a 10-wicket defeat in the third test in Grenada as the win-less run stretched to 9 tests. Root, who has been captain since 2017, has now overseen 4 serious defeats in a row, this loss coming on a back of 4-0 Ashes humbling by Australia. Cycling, Biniam Gamay made history as the first African cyclist to win a one-day classic as he triumphed in the Gent Wevelgem yesterday. Gamay was part of a 4-rider breakaway in the last 30 kilometre and sprinted to victory with 250 metres to go. Formula One, Max Verstappen won an intense race-long battle with Charles Leclerc to take his first victory of the season in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The Red Bull driver passed the Ferrari with 4 laps to go after the two had duelled during a tense race. The battle occasionally bordered on fast as two slowed down almost to a stop at times to try to work the DRS overtaking zones to their advantage. And that is sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
For the financial year 2021, People's Bank has reported a consolidated total operating income of 110.7 billion rupees and total operating expenses amounting to 50.5 billion rupees, which represented an increase of 21.9% and 14.9% respectively over 2020. Bank's consolidated pre-tax post-tax profit amounted to 37.2 billion and 28.1 billion rupees, representing a 51.1% and 74.6% growth. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
In economic news, Korean Ambassador Santos Woongjingjang met BOI Chairman Raja Azursurya to discuss ways to attract more Korean investments to Sri Lanka at the Board of Investment premises. The BOI Chairman emphasized the importance of boosting foreign investment to overcome Sri Lanka's current economic challenges. attracting more foreign direct investments from Korea, and facilitation of the environment conducive for smooth operations for existing Korean investors were discussed during the meeting. And that was economic news.
The weather report.
The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and the northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimetres can be expected at some places. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. A meeting takes place between the President and the Indian Foreign Minister. The US extends support for Sri Lanka's renewable energy projects. The Foreign Secretary says new opportunities should be looked into for economic development of BIMSTEC countries. Haritha Dayak Home Garden Drive will commence island-wide tomorrow. The public is requested to get the booster dose soon. Levy on dates imports reduced. Foreign news: Russia and Ukraine are to hold face-to-face talks soon. Sports cricket: Joe Root wants to stay as England captain despite West Indies' defeat. And with that, we end this news broadcast.